Hi everyone, I'm Jackie and we are enjoying life's journey while on the path to financial freedom. Welcome to the channel. Welcome to another weekly paycheck to paycheck budget with me video where we'll be budgeting out my husband's paycheck for May 10th. So my husband gets paid every single Friday. So we like to do our budgets on Friday. We call them paycheck to paycheck, basically weekly budgets as well. I am self-employed, so my payments come in randomly. So we kind of just do everything on Friday. So we're going to jump on the Excel sheet and get to it. Okay, if you joined me last week, we started doing something a little bit different. So I budgeted out the third based on the numbers that we had, and then I projected out what the 10th would be. Basically, the current week, I keep track on my calendar how many hours my husband worked that day. I write in the corner of the day how many hours my husband worked that day, so I can kind of project out the next week's pay. So that's what we did for the 10th. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and go through the 10th based on the actual numbers. As far as the one thing that we thought would probably change were the taxes, and then we're going to project out the 17th. So we're going to do them at the same time. And then behind me are the different checking and savings accounts that I have, and I just use those to balance all of my accounts. So I've shared that with you guys in previous paycheck to paycheck budget with me videos. So if you're interested in those, you can always go back and watch some of those and see kind of how I do that. Okay, so for the 10th, my husband's base pay was the $770. So now what I do, because this is the actual amount, I make it black, and then we're going to project for the 17th the $770 as well. So that's his base pay, 40 hours a week. With his new pay rate is $19.25 an hour. So his overtime for the 10th, we knew what his hours were, so it was the 462.08, and that's exactly what it came out to be, so we're going to make that black. Now for the rest of the month, we were not anticipating any overtime. However, my husband did get another 8 hours of overtime this week, so that will be paid out on the 17th. So we're going to line up the third here. That was exactly what he had. He had basically 48 hours for this week, so for next pay as well. So we're going to do that. 231 is what we're going to estimate. So for taxes down here, we know that this amount for my husband will be the same as this first paycheck. Something that will be different though for myself, I'm not anticipating any income for the 17th, and the 10th I actually made more than I expected. It was $875. So if you're interested, I share my self-employment income expense report. So there are a few things within this budget I've had some people ask me about, as far as like, where's my cell phone bill, where's the internet bill. Those are part of my self-employment budget. And then what I make, this is half of what I made in self-employment. So if you want to see how I manage that, please take a look. I have posted a few of those with you. I've shared with you January and February, and I'll be sharing March on Monday. Alright, so then down here, the only thing that was different is I did take some money out of savings to buy one stock in Robinhood. So I did open up a Robinhood account in April. I forgot to mention that with you guys. And I just started with 50 bucks. So I'm just going to try to do like 50 bucks a month. And the things that I'm investing in Robinhood specifically are like real estate type investments that pay dividends. So I'm looking to create that passive cash flow. And again, I'm just starting very small with that. So I'll share that with you guys more as I get into it a little bit more. As of right now, I only have $100 with Robinhood. But that's what was 53 I brought over from savings. And then coming down, so my husband's 401k, we changed it to the 9%. Previously in the third, if you guys watched last week, it was still 8%. So the 110.89 is the correct number. So we're going to make that black. And then we're going to go ahead and leave this projection as the 9% for the 17th, because that should be what it's going to be. Myself was actually 131.25. I'll make this black because that went into the savings account. Part of this is what I use for Robinhood, and then the other, whatever's left, is being put into our paying off our house, our mortgage, faster. So basically the 15% of mine is kind of like our real estate investing. So whether investing in our current home by paying it off faster, or investing in things like stocks, real estate type stocks, ETFs, things like that on Robinhood. For next paycheck, 0, because I'm not making anything. So here's where the numbers were off for this week. So federal was actually 2481. Arizona was actually 2018. Medicare was $17.89, and then Social Security was $76.39. So those, I mentioned that last time, that we knew the overtime was more, so we knew taxes would be more, so we had to kind of adjust for that. However, for the 17th, we're going to make the same numbers as the 3rd. Now, I had a lot of people, they're curious as why do I bother with the taxes? Why don't I just budget my take-home pay? This is why, because if I'm trying to project ahead of time, I only know what my husband's base pay is per hour, so I put that in, and then I do the best to calculate the taxes. Also, I want to keep track of the taxes because then you can go on the IRS website and you can use their withholdings calculator and see whether you're paying them too much. So a good indicator is if you're getting money back every year, then you're paying too much in federal taxes to the IRS every single paycheck. So we like to monitor that to make sure we can adjust our numbers accordingly. The idea is to keep more of our paycheck now and not, spend as much. And then, it's kind of like we're letting the government borrow our money, right? So instead, we want that money to ourselves sooner so we can invest it and save it or use it to pay off debt, whatever it is that we're trying to accomplish. The other main reason is because I have a few things that I like to calculate. The percentage I calculate is based off of our income before taxes. So again, 401k, that's 9% before taxes. And then our savings, 10%. We want to do 10% before taxes. So that's why I calculate all of that. It's been helping us quite a bit. So then what we do here is this is 10% of mine and my husband's income combined. That doesn't include the savings. That's 10% of this. So $210.71. We did move over to the emergency fund savings. We have officially reached our 3 months of an emergency fund, but we're still putting 10% we're trying to put 10% every month into that emergency fund because we're trying to get it up to 6 months. We'll see if we can do it by the end of the year. So then projection for this one would be the 110. So we're going to leave that. I have that set up to auto calculate for me. I did have another viewer ask, what's the best way to learn Excel, if there's like a certain program or something like that. Honestly, you guys, I just go onto YouTube and I type in like what do I want to do. So for instance, when I added these percents on the side here, I just typed into YouTube, how do I calculate percents in Excel, and there was tons of YouTube videos out there. So I've been kind of learning as I go, and this has evolved over the years. And I really want to get this out for you guys. Okay, so giving, we actually added another $13.70 to giving. So I made that orange. That's money that we currently have. It's not spent yet. And then coming on down. So this, the $559 was what that was. That was calculated correctly. And then this was actually $444. So again, this is another one. If my husband makes more, it's calculated as more. For the next paycheck, we're going to do the same as the third. So we're going to do $559 and the $416, and that should be all right. Coming on down, let's finish out what we're going to do for the 17th. We're going to cover the full extra principal payment, so the $190 is going to be coming out of there, and then we'll come back to that mortgage payment. We'll see how much we're going to put in there. All right, so if you remember last week, we did half of our grocery budget. So this is the grocery budget for the month right here, and then we like to have the money within the first couple paychecks, and that way, just in case, we have to stock up on some things that, maybe we need to get it sooner than later, we can do that. So we're going to make this orange because this is what we have now to finish it out. Personal care, if you watched last week, I did end up making a change here. We spent $55 for personal care, and then so we still need the $105. That's for my husband and my daughter's haircuts, and then my facial, and then we actually added on, we need to change this to $114.78. I'll make this orange. Household, we actually ended up doing $62.29 towards the household. Originally, I didn't budget anything. My husband's phone, we're putting that money aside, so the $35 is correct. We got the electricity bill. It actually ended up being $83.59, so it was a little higher than we anticipated. And then also, you guys, we are going to be getting solar on the roof. So we actually have people coming out tomorrow. They're going to be measuring and doing all of that stuff, putting the design together, and then they'll be submitting all of the permits and the paperwork to the city and the electric company, and then so probably in about a month we will have solar, and so we're going to have a base pay. Our base bill will be for our solar will be like $81 a month for the entire year. So that's going to save us like $100 a month during the summer months, which is going to be amazing. So over the course of the whole year, it should save us about $300, and we'll have solar, which will be really cool. So I'll talk to you guys more about that when it's official, but yeah, we're super excited to be doing that. 72 we added to the water, sewer, trash. We don't have the official bill yet, so we're gonna usually, well, last month it was quite a bit lower, so we'll see. Car gas, we're gonna finish out the 100, so the 50, and then the car insurance, the 125 is there, and then the car maintenance. So we actually ended up, we did the oil change, which we originally budgeted for, but we ended up doing, because we are going on the cruise and we're going to be driving to California and back, my husband got the new air filter and the cabin air filter, so we had 2 different air filters. We had to get a light for the front, and I did take the car into the dealership. When we had the brakes and the shocks done the other month, there's a clicking in the steering wheel, and they mentioned that the dealership had to fix that. So we had to take that into the dealership, and they fixed that. Coming up, as far as maintenance on the car, a few other things that we have to get done because the car is at 135,000 miles, we'll be changing out spark plugs and getting, the belts redone, and then flushing out like the transmission and all of that. So those are some things that maintenance will be doing. The car is completely paid for. I want to keep this car running good, and I want to keep it for at least another 8 years, basically the time it takes us to pay off this house before I buy a new car. We are going to start saving up for my husband's work truck. So a few of these maintenance things, they seem like a lot, but we have not had a car payment since 2014. And our car payment used to be like $400 a month. So, $800 here and $375 here is still not bad. I mean, overall, over the course of those years that we didn't have a car payment, we've still saved ourselves probably like $8,000 by not having a car payment. So it's really, yeah. All right, so then motorcycle gas, we're going to finish out with a 30. That's good. The insurance for the motorcycle, $18.91. That was good. The girls' commission jobs, 20 and 10 were good. So as far as bills and other spending, we shouldn't have anything for next week. And then we come on down. We're finishing out our 130 for eating out, so $71.44. That's good. We did end up spending some money, some of our date night money. We did end up buying beer and wine. Daughter's best friend had a birthday party. They live like 2 doors down, so we did end up hanging out with the adults after the birthday party. So we did purchase, beer and wine for that. So we counted that as date night. So for our official date night, we'll still have about $75 to spend. The YMCA, $60 we have, and then the Netflix is the $9.83 we have. So what we have here, we have $216.19 we are going to put into the vacation fund. So $216.19, and this is orange because we have it now. So that's kind of how we work it. We can adjust things as we need to. As things were actually spent on this check, we can adjust the future checks. So now you can see here, we want $450 for vacation. This 26 was spent. We purchased, if you watched our cruise budget video, I mentioned that we were talking about getting maybe some blow-up, like those little ring tubes, blow-up things to take us that were compact enough to take in the luggage. So we did buy those. It was we bought 2 of them. It was $26. So that is part of that. So, but we want to finish up this $450. So $207.81. So you can see here we have our $450, $450. So we finished that out. So that's what that is. Then basically all of these should be good for the month. And so 305 and 33, that's what's going to go up in towards the mortgage right here. Basically we have the 17th planned out ahead of time. That should be good. Really the only thing I could see changing would possibly be maybe the vacation money, but I really don't think that should change. I think we should be good to go. You saw my cruise budget. We should be good with that. One other change I totally forgot on the 3rd was we got our cash back for Discover. It was $35.69, and then we actually got a cash back bonus because when we signed up with the Discover card, I forgot about this, that everything that we were earning in cash back, they were going to match in May. So that's what we got, $153.87. So that was a bonus. Yeah, you guys, so thanks for joining me to budget out our paycheck to paycheck for the 10th and to project ahead for the 17th. Join me next Friday, and we'll see if the 17th numbers are going to stay the same, and project out for the next week as well. As always, thanks for watching. I'll see you soon. Bye.